Rep. Eric Swalwell didn't raise his voice. He didn't make a speech. He simply asked a question, one that hit the room with the force of an explosion, and in that instant the entire hearing shifted. What was supposed to be a controlled procedural exchange suddenly veered into dangerous territory, because the moment Swalwell directly challenged FBI Director Patel over the Jeffrey Epstein files, the silence in the room said more than any sworn testimony. And what happens next reveals far more than anyone expected. It begins with a hook that few saw coming.
Director, the first time you saw Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files. Did you close the files or keep reading?
I have reviewed not the entirety of the files, so
you haven't reviewed all of the Epstein files?
Personally, no.
You're the director of the FBI. This is the largest sex trafficking case the FBI has ever been a part of. Buck stops at the top, and your testimony today is you have not reviewed all the files.
What I've been doing is been busy providing the safest country this country has seen in modern U.S. history in historic speed, because the men and women of the FBI are given the resources to reduce the homicide rate, to reduce the drug trafficking rate, to reduce the amount of children that are being trafficked, and the number of pedophiles.
It sounds like those children being trafficked would appreciate the director reviewing the files. You said you don't know the number of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right?
The number is a total misleading factor. We have not released
number
anyone's
at least be 1,000
name
times?
we have not released anyone's
Could it
name in
at
the
least
Epstein
be
files
1,000
that
times?
has not been credible.
Director,
And
could it at
we have
least be 1,000
released
times?
every piece of legally permissible information.
Okay,
you can
so-
characterize the numbers however you want it.
Reclaiming my time, Director. It sounds like if you don't know the number, it could at least be 1,000 times. Which
It's not.
leads me-
It's not.
Is it at least 500 times?
No.
Is it at least 100 times?
No.
Then what's the number?
I don't know the number, but it's not that.
Do you think it might be your job to know the number?
My job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. My job is not to engage in political
And that
innuendo
includes protecting
so you can
sexual
go out to the
assault
sticks
victims.
and get your 20-second hit in your fundraising
reclaiming my
article.
time,
But
Director.
keep going, reclaiming your time, because the
Director,
people of California
If
are being
Trump- if the
underserved by
president-
your
If the
representation.
president is not implicated, why not release everything that involves
We
him?
have released everything, the president and anyone else's side, that is credible and lawfully be able to be released. Your fixation on this matter and baseless accusations that I'm hiding
also
child
Mr. Massey's
pedophiles is disgusting.
interest.
Anyone that says that needs to look at the stats alone. And go back to the state of California, who's receiving the biggest surge in
So,
FBI resources through
Director-
my redeployment, because the cities of Los Angeles, San Diego, and San
Reclaiming
Francisco
my time,
need it.
Director. Remembering your oath to tell the truth, did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
And we have released where President Trump's name is in
It's
the
a simple
attorney's
question.
file.
Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein files?
During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein, we have reviewed
The question is
painstakingly
simple.
who
Did you
can
tell
be-
the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out if
Yes
you're
or
going to mock
no, Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No? A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F?
it
Don't
sounds
wanna
like
do
you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your
Director,
constituency
did
by
you tell the
focusing on
Attorney
reducing
General
violent
that Donald
crime in this
Trump's
country and the number of pedophiles that
Director,
are legally
reclaiming my
harbored in
time,
your
Director.
sanctuary cities in
Director,
California?
reclaiming
I'll
my
work with
time.
you on that. Do
Regular
you want
order,
to
Mr.
work with
Chairman.
us on that?
Director,
I'm
reclaiming
the
my
lawless
time.
gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or
Question
no?
has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt. Director, did Donald Trump ever say to you, just find and release the entire truth? Don't worry if I'm in it?
The instructions from the administration were to release all credible information, and we have done that.
Did Donald Trump ever provide information about Jeffrey Epstein as an informant?
Donald Trump has not been, and I can only speak for the FBI, an informant of the FBI.
So, Director, you've played this cute shell game where you say you can't release everything because the court has said that it legally is not allowed to be released, but the court calls bullshit. Judge Richard Berman said that when you went to the court, quote, information contained in the Epstein grand jury transcripts pales in comparison to Epstein investigation information and materials in the hands of the Department of Justice. So let's move on, Director. You wrote a book called Government Gangsters. You identified 20 individuals in that book. You put me on that list, at the top of the list. Thank you. My children find it flattering. 20 of those individuals have been investigated or have had adverse actions. Director, considering that you have identified these people as, quote, government gangsters, will you recuse yourself from making any investigation decisions about these individuals?
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done so
the
because
question
they failed
again,
to meet the muster
Director,
and their constitutional
I will
obligation.
work on the audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to borrow your terminology and call bullshit on your entire career in Congress.
I'm reclaiming my time,
It has been a disgrace to the American people.
I'm reclaiming my time.
You can reclaim your time all you want.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak this way? Mr. Chairman, would you give...
recuse yourself, Director.
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman, would you admonish the witness not to insult members?
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman,
the
just
committee will remember.
Quick point of order. Could the gentleman be extended an additional 20 seconds to complete his thoughts, since the witness decided to interrupt him continuously?
And the witness will be able to respond if he wants. We'll make sure he has time to do that.
My question is, will you, Director, recuse yourself, yes or no, from investigating or making decisions about the 60 individuals, including myself, that you identified as government gangsters? Yes or no?
Time of the gentleman has expired. The witness may respond if he would like.
And the answer was no, as I heard.
Correct.
Okay. The gentleman.
A member of Congress looks the nation's top law enforcement official in the eye and asks a question so direct, so clean, that there are only two possible answers: yes or no. But that's exactly what never comes. Instead, the hearing erupts into a fight over transparency, accountability, and the uncomfortable truth that sometimes the most powerful people in the country refuse to say the one thing everyone is listening for. Swalwell starts by going straight to the heart: the Epstein files, thousands of pages, countless redactions, years of secrecy, and victims still begging for answers, and he asks Patel whether he personally reviewed the entire archive. Not summaries, not fragments, the full record. What Patel says next stuns the room. The director admits he hasn't gone through all the documents himself. Swalwell freezes mid-sentence. A trafficking case that has captured global attention, a case involving some of the most powerful individuals on Earth, and the man at the very top hasn't read everything. At least, not according to his testimony. The tension sharpens immediately. Swalwell tries again. Patel begins deflecting, talking about national crime rates, about drug operations, about providing security for the country. He pivots to everything except the one thing being asked. And as he speaks, another question takes shape in the room, even before Swalwell voices it: why dodge something this basic? Viewers feel the shift instantly. A simple inquiry morphs into a test of power. Swalwell moves to the next pressure point. If Patel hasn't read all the files, then how many times does a particular high-profile name appear in them? Patel avoids the question entirely. He insists numbers are misleading. He insists there's been no improper withholding. But when Swalwell tries to narrow it down, is it at least 1,000, 500, 100? The director keeps repeating the same phrase: I don't know the number. But it's not the words themselves that ignite the confrontation. It's the tone, the refusal to engage, the evasiveness that grows sharper with every exchange. Swalwell points out that not knowing something this significant isn't just unusual, it's alarming. This isn't a footnote in a forgotten case file. This is the largest trafficking investigation the Bureau has ever touched. The victims have already said they're still fighting to obtain their own files through FOIA, and the director still doesn't know how many times key figures appear in the documents. The cracks in composure widen. Patel switches from defensive to offensive. What started as testimony becomes personal. He accuses Swalwell of playing politics. He criticizes crime in California. He pivots away from the core topic and tries to reframe the entire exchange as a partisan attack. This is where the atmosphere in the hearing room transforms. The balance shifts from inquiry to confrontation. And the public, watching the clip unfold, isn't seeing a typical oversight hearing anymore. They're seeing a live demonstration of the one thing every major institution fears: a question they can't or won't answer. Swalwell cuts through the noise, reclaiming his time again and again. He refuses to let the witness shift the narrative. The pattern is obvious now. The director avoids specifics, avoids clarity, avoids being pinned down. And every time he dodges, the silence gets heavier. Then Swalwell delivers the question that blows the last layer of composure off the hearing. He asks whether Patel told the Attorney General that a certain name appears in the Epstein files. It is a pure yes or no question. Nothing complicated. No speculation. Patel will not answer. Not the first time. Not the second time. Not even the third time. Swalwell presses harder. Yes or no. Patel dodges again. Try the alphabet. Swalwell snaps. Yes or no. And suddenly the room feels like it's tilting. Committee members shift in their seats. The chairman tries to calm things down, but the director keeps circling away, refusing to give the clean, direct response that the question demands. When he finally says no, it comes wrapped in so much verbal insulation that the answer feels more evasive than illuminating. Now the hearing is no longer about files, it's about trust. Swalwell points out a critical detail. A federal judge has already written that the government possesses far more information about the Epstein investigation than what has been disclosed publicly. This isn't speculation, it's on record. So when Patel insists he's released everything credible, the cracks deepen. Who gets to decide what counts as credible? Who decides what the public sees? Why are victims still being stonewalled on their own records? And if the director refuses to give a straight answer to Congress, what does that mean for anyone outside the room? Swalwell then raises another explosive issue, Patel's own book, where he labeled more than a dozen officials including Swalwell as government gangsters. He asks whether Patel will recuse himself from any matters involving the individuals he publicly attacked. Patel refuses. This is where the hearing reaches peak volatility. The director accuses Swalwell of disgraceful conduct. Members jump in. Voices rise. The chairman repeatedly bangs the gavel. The hearing is on the brink of losing control entirely. What started as a calm exchange has become a power struggle unfolding on camera. But beyond the shouting, beyond the political tension, beyond the carefully worded evasions, something deeper is happening. The one thing Patel seems determined not to do is answer the simplest questions, not technical questions, not classified information, not sensitive operations, just basic oversight questions. Did he read the files? How many times does a certain name appear? Did he tell the Attorney General? Will he recuse himself from cases involving people he publicly targeted? Every single one should have an obvious answer, but instead the hearing dissolves into rhetorical smoke. And that's why this moment exploded online, not because of political theatrics, but because evasion always creates the suspicion that something is being protected. When someone refuses repeatedly to say yes or no, something else is being communicated. People notice. They notice the dodges. They notice the irritation. They notice the deflection. They notice when accountability turns into accusation. Oversight cannot function when clarity is treated like a threat. And in this hearing, clarity never arrives. The unanswered questions linger in the air long after microphones are turned off. But the most important part is this: a lack of answers doesn't erase a question, it amplifies it. And when those questions involve one of the most notorious criminal cases in modern history, one that has already sparked global speculation, refusing to give straight answers only intensifies the shadows. Because transparency doesn't collapse all at once, it erodes piece by piece, through delays, redactions, procedural fog, and as shown here, pure refusal. Swalwell's attempt was simple: get clarity on whether the director, the top of the bureau, is fully informed about the case, and whether critical information was disclosed to the Attorney General. There were no insinuations, no accusations, just the expectation that in a democracy, certain things should not require a fight. But the moment the question was asked, the room changed. The tone changed, the witness changed, and the hearing transformed from routine oversight into a profound question about power. Who decides what the public is allowed to know? Who answers when accountability calls? And what does it mean when the truth is not denied, but avoided? Sometimes the loudest revelation in a hearing is not what someone says, it's what they refuse to say. If you found this breakdown insightful, informative, or eye-opening, make sure to subscribe. Hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss when we uncover moments like this. And drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think this evasiveness really means?